Hi, everyone. My name is Vishal Shah. I'm a data engineer at Etsy, and I'm super excited to present at today's town hall about our DataHub adoption journey. So to kick things off, I'll give a quick intro on Etsy, then I'll jump into our journey timeline and then highlight some interesting implementation and metadata learnings. Last, I'll end with a quick bit about what we look forward to seeing in DataHub. So for anyone who is not familiar, Etsy is a two-sided global marketplace for handcrafted and antique pieces. Founded in 2005, Etsy is an e-commerce platform based out of Brooklyn, New York, with offices and admin around the world. So to give an idea of the size and complexity of our data, Etsy has over 7 million active sellers, 93 million active buyers, and over 100 million unique listings. Our production data is stored across hundreds of shards in MySQL. We have a data warehouse in BigQuery and other data sources as well. So our platform has seen tremendous growth over the years, and with that, so has our data. And with the data, so has our metadata, which takes me to our journey to a new data catalog. So our journey goes back 9 years to the year 2013, when we built our first in-house data catalog called Schemer. Over the years, Schemer became an integral tool for engineers, analysts, and more. Users could search for tables from MySQL and our data warehouse at the time, which was Vertica. They could add table and column descriptions, and there were links to the source code as well for those tables. Alongside, in 2020, we built a proof of concept lineage tool called the Data Lineage Tool to start understanding the complex relationships across our vast data landscape. Both tools had been on maintenance mode for some time, and we knew it was time to reinvest in data discovery. So cut to April of 2021. Data engineering teams at Etsy wrapped up our data warehouse migration from Vertica to BigQuery and formed our new data discovery team. We knew there was a need for a better data discovery experience, but we wanted to understand the problem space better before we jumped into a solution. So our team of 6 engineers, 1 product manager, and 1 engineering manager, conducted a month of user interviews where we spoke to 30 individuals from engineering, product management, analytics, and more about their experience using our existing catalog and lineage tool and where they found pain points around discovering data. So we learned that the main issues were around around discovery and trust. It was hard to find the right data sets, and it was unclear which data sets were reliable, where they came from, and how they were being used. Much of this information came from tribal knowledge, which at this stage of growth was no longer sustainable for us. I want to call out that while this wasn't complex on the engineering front, there really wasn't much engineering at all that entire month. These interviews helped our team learn about the problem space better and become invested in our team's mission. So the next step was to find a solution. So we split up into squads to investigate all of our options, and there were quite a number. What if we extended Schemer? What if we built a new in-house tool? What if we paid for a fully managed solution that we could get off the ground faster? Or what if we used an open source solution? So we dove into 30 tools over the course of a month and POC'd a couple of them. Our proof of concept of DataHub involved setting up a local instance, adding a custom source, and adding a custom aspect to the metadata model. While it was a bit complex, we found success in DataHub for its flexibility in metadata modeling, integrations with many of our existing data sources at Etsy, and an active and growing community. So after months of research, we were finally ready to move forward with DataHub. So now for the fun engineering part. Along with DataHub, there are many technologies that our team did not have much experience with. But we did have the advantage of other teams at Etsy owning instances of GKE and Kafka and having expertise in BuildKite to guide us along the way. We also set up a Cloud SQL database and used Managed Elasticsearch in our infrastructure setup. So we started small and iterated along the way for ingestion. We prioritized BigQuery and MySQL ingestion to match parity with Schemer, and then also built an MVP for data lineage that connected from MySQL to BigQuery to Looker, a widely used data pipeline at Etsy and also displayed in our in-house lineage tool. So after months of implementation work, by April of this year, we were ready to launch DataHub at Etsy. So till date, we have over 600 total users and about 45% are active each month. We've ingested 11,000 data sets across 5 data platforms, and the number increases each day. I want to call out that since we already had a data catalog in production, We had to be extremely thoughtful in our transition to DataHub to make sure that we had addressed any parity issues before deprecating Schemer. I can say that we were able to smoothly migrate onto DataHub and turned off Schemer last month with minimal disturbance. We're also well on our way to turning off our in-house lineage tool to consolidate all of our data discovery efforts into DataHub. So it wouldn't be quite a journey if there weren't any bumps along the way. So I want to take the next couple of slides to highlight some of our learnings as they pertain to implementation and governance. So this question came up a few times. Why doesn't this work as expected? With no fault to DataHub or our data ecosystem, but a natural process of integrating two systems together. The cool part about using an open source solution was that we weren't left in the dark with having to figure out every solution by ourselves or having to fully rely on another team to fix all the issues for us. We were able to fit DataHub into our ecosystem and made a couple upstream contributions along the way. Maybe the one with the most impact for us was around the BigQuery ingestion. We have projects at Etsy used only for storage and other projects used for running queries and jobs. This didn't immediately work with the BigQuery ingestion because at that time, it only took in a single project ID. We ran into all sorts of problems when trying to query lineage information or profile from projects where we did not have the permissions to run queries. But with help from the DataHub team, we were able to contribute back and provide an additional field in the recipe for a lineage client project ID. Similarly for Airflow, the current version that we use at Etsy is behind the required version for the lineage backend. We were able to extend the DataHub lineage functionality with a small change to the open source code that made Airflow lineage compatible with our Airflow instance. However, I should add that not all changes were as seamless. For ingestions such as LookML and some custom sources that read from GitHub repositories, we were surprised that we had to clone these repos into a custom image. And lastly, for MySQL ingestion, a hurdle that we came across was around how to profile sharded databases. Profiling off of one host would not capture the full statistics for a table that's sharded over hundreds of hosts. And also profiling against our production database was turning out to be a bit complex and expensive and a concern for our production systems. So for now, this one's still on hold and something that we discussed on our team. Outside of implementation, we learned about how data discovery and data lineage are both highly dependent on data governance. How do we display all of this helpful metadata information in DataHub if we don't know where to find it? So our approach is to start with ownership to make adding an owner to a data set extremely easy and accessible directly in the creation code for that data set, and then adding more governance rules from there. Even for lineage, for Airflow, a situation falls around, do we ask users to add inlets and outlets manually to their DAGs? What if they change their data job and don't update the outlet? What if there's a typo? Or should we find a way to add them programmatically into the operators themselves? We believe that data governance will play a crucial role in the success of DataHub at Etsy. So if you have any success stories regarding governance, ownership, or Airflow lineage, please reach out to us. We'd definitely love to hear about them. And lastly, I want to touch on a few wishlist items that we'd be thrilled to see in DataHub. So firstly, column level lineage, especially for BigQuery, would be a huge win. Subscriptions and favorites would be another. That would allow for more team collaboration and standardization. So if I were to join a new team, I would already know what are my team's most important data sets and could get notified for any changes, even if I were not the data owner. Lastly, a list of dataset recommendations based on my most viewed or favorite datasets would lead to a boost in data discovery for our end users. So that's all I have for today. I want to give a huge thank you to the DataHub team for all of the help and support along our journey with our many questions. Also, a special shout out to the data discovery team at Etsy for their support with this presentation. Can't wait to see all the cool stuff that we work on with the DataHub. And if you have any questions or success stories that you would want to share with us, you can feel free to reach out to me on the DataHub Slack. Thank you so much.